I'm glad that we are together today. It's November, and we start our third session of the Global Oncology Implementing Science. In fact, today we will present very interesting and maybe exciting points that needs your thinking together, our thinking together, about personalized cancer medicine in clinical oncology and in general. So we'll start now with a very valuable lecture from Professor David Kerr, the renowned Professor David Kerr, Oxford University, and he is one of the leaders of the Win-Win Initiative. Sorry, we have interruption of here, but we'll continue. And in the same time, he is the co-director of this course of Global Oncology University and co-founders of the Global Oncology University and co-founder and co-director of this course of Global Oncology Implementing Science. And he is one of the big contributors in our book, Approaching Global Oncology Implementing Science, and our book, Global Oncology Win-Win Model, and other activities. Now we'll run the Professor David Kerr.
I'm David Kerr, Professor of Cancer Medicine from University of Oxford, and I'm delighted to be attending this important meeting. What I'd like to discuss today is how we can deliver personalised cancer medicine and use cancer control. And let me bring warm words of welcome from the University of Oxford. The basis of any personalised, individualised cancer medicine is selecting the right patients for the right treatment, the right dose at the right time. And what I hope to be able to demonstrate is that by using modern molecular biology, by using artificial intelligence, we can make significant impacts and change how we improve the delivery of cancer care and illustrate each of these important points. I like to start out with prognostic markers. This is using biological markers to determine the aggressiveness of the cancer, to determine how long the patient might live, and therefore how we can tailor treatments to meet the biological activity of that disease. I'm very interested in the treatment, in the management of colorectal cancer. One of the most common tumor types in the world. There are more than 1.2 million cases per year. We know that almost half of these patients will die directly as a result of the disease. And we know that in China, the incidence of colorectal cancer is increasing rapidly. So it's an important tumor burden that faces each of the different nations represented in this hall. Excuse me. The majority of patients come with early stage disease and they have surgery to remove the primary tumor. We were interested in using artificial intelligence and digital pathology to predict which patients had a good prognosis. That means the chance of the cancer recurring, the chance of the cancer progressing is very low. Or patients with bad prognosis, this is biologically aggressive cancer in which the patients might be expected to have a very high chance of the tumor recurring or metastasizing, spreading to different sites in the body after the primary tumor has been removed. And what we've done is we've taken a series of digital images of the tumor once it's been removed by the surgeons. Using artificial intelligence, neural algorithms, which we developed with colleagues in the University of Oslo, we developed a complicated mathematical model that allows us to interrogate the pixels from the digital pictures, the images of the tumor, and use this artificial intelligence generated model to predict the likelihood of good prognosis, i.e. the chances of cure by surgery alone being very high, or bad prognosis, in which there's a strong possibility that the cancer would recur. And in that setting, those are patients I would wish to give additional treatment like chemotherapy after surgical removal. This is a survival curve, and this gives you an idea of the power of the digital biomarker to predict the likelihood of the cancer coming back. So what we have is we've used this biomarker in combination with conventional pathology to put patients into 3 groups. So the surgeon has removed and resected the primary bowel cancer. We then do our digital imaging. We use our AI model, and we can predict patients who will be in the green group, very high chance of cure with surgery, very low risk of recurrence, no need for any additional treatment. If we look at the red group, we can see that these patients are in trouble. They have biologically aggressive cancer, and despite the surgeon removing all the tumor that he or she can see, the chances of recurrence are very high, in that 5 years after treatment, 60% of the patients, the cancer has come back. So for those patients immediately after the operation, I would offer them an intensive course of chemotherapy, because I know that I can increase the cure rate by 20 to 30%. So you can see how we can use this digital biomarker to measure prognosis and to guide the treatment that I deliver to patients in the clinic. The blue group in the middle, the intermediate group, we would perhaps give low-dose chemotherapy or oral chemotherapy, or for older patients, they may choose not to have treatment at all. So the biomarker has real practical implications for how we deliver treatment. Prediction's important. Can I use the biomarker to predict what patients will benefit most from the anti-cancer drugs that I use in the clinic? I'm still a practicing cancer physician. A number of biomarkers are widely used now to treat patients with advanced or metastatic colorectal cancer. We can look at the molecular biology, so-called mutations in the tumor, and that will allow us to deliver quite specific treatments. RAS mutations, patients who have a cancer with a RAS mutation do not respond to treatment with epidermal growth factor inhibitors. So there's no point using those drugs to treat those patients. They're completely resistant. BRAF mutations, this is a very aggressive cancer, but some fantastic work from the Netherlands with a great friend, René Bernards, has shown that we can have some quite specific drugs for patients with BRAF mutant tumor. Whether the large bowel extends from the right to the left side of the body, and depending on what side the cancer initiated, left or right side, that allows us to make predictions about the treatment that we give. Some tumors have got a genetic abnormality called mismatch repair deficiency, big long term, but again, it allows me to give a very specific treatment. Patients who've got microsatellite unstable disease are very responsive to immunotherapy, one of these important new treatments that are becoming more widespread in the treatment of cancer. One of the emerging biomarkers I'd like to talk a little more about are fusion proteins, and I'll talk a little about chemotherapy side effects and sensitivity. So TRAC fusion targets have become very interesting over the past 5 years or so. In this setting, there's a recombination of DNA, and it brings two different genes together into a fusion gene that usually increases the activity of that gene, which can make it a very interesting target to develop new drugs against the fusion gene. So we find that TRAC fusions are fusion genes are found in a relatively small percent, perhaps around 1 to 2% of colorectal cancers. And we've developed methods for detecting these. So if we have 100 patients, only 1 or 2 of them will have this genetic mutation, but it's important because if we can detect that genetic mutation, then treating those patients with a TRAC inhibitor like larotrectinib can have very powerful effects. I'm showing you some survival curves and some activity here, but these drugs are now approved by the Chinese FDA, by the US FDA, by the European Medicines Agency, so that if I can find that small number of patients with a TRAC fusion mutation, their chances of them benefiting from the chemotherapy is around 80%, which is a fantastic result for that small number of patients with a mutation. Again, we're mapping a biomarker and a treatment and bringing them together and benefiting patients enormously. Side effects of chemotherapy are important. If I treat 100 patients with chemotherapy, perhaps 1 or 2 of them may die directly as a result of the side effects of chemotherapy. So if I could develop a genetic test that identified patients at high risk of side effects, I would be able to alter the dose of the chemotherapy before I started treatment, thus saving the patient's pain, toxicity, side effects, and saving the health service system money also. We know that 5-fluorouracil and capecitabine are some of the most widely used anti-cancer drugs in the world. As I said already, a significant proportion of patients die directly as a result of the side effects of chemotherapy. Even if patients don't die, they can still end up having prolonged hospital stays because of the side effects of treatment, and it provides a significant health economic burden to any healthcare system in the world. Excuse me. So we've undertaken something called genome-wide association studies, and we've been able to find a genetic signature, a marker that identifies patients more at risk of the side effects of treatment. This is how we've gone about it. It's a relatively simple schematic, but by using our clinical trial base in Oxford, we've treated thousands of patients in colorectal cancer trials. We can use that database linked to blood samples from the patients to extract DNA and to do some very clever statistical modeling to link the patient's germline genetics to their side effect profile. And by doing that, we've come up with a signature. Oh, excuse me, coughing. It can identify patients at normal risk of chemotherapy side effects. Some patients at very high risk, I would give them half dose, but a small number of patients at a risk of a very high risk of immediate death from treatment, in which the drugs would be completely contraindicated. So again, we've shown that by using this genetic test, we increase the safety of the drugs, we reduce the number of patients being admitted to hospital with side effects, and we save lives. What's important for a meeting of this sort, in which we bring together many different nations, many different ethnic groups, is that we are required to cooperate to understand how the genetics differ when we compare Europeans, Africans, and Asians. And when we've done gene mapping across different ethnic groups, we can find that the type of mutations, the frequency of mutations is quite different. And that's why we have large international cooperative groups that allow us to better understand the genetics of cancer, and a brilliant example of how, as a global community, we collaborate and take a collective approach to solving the cancer problem. The other area in which we're interested in, and perhaps the final part of this talk, is around susceptibility. We know that in the Western world, 1 in 2 people will develop cancer. And if we could identify those patients most at risk, we could take various steps to reduce the likelihood of them developing cancer. With bowel cancer, we could give lifestyle advice. There are some drugs that can be given, and screening with regular colonoscopy has been proven to significantly reduce the incidence and death rate from colorectal cancer. So identify patients at a higher risk, we can definitely save lives. So again, using our fantastic statisticians in Oxford, we've now studied with partners from China, from the US, from other European countries, increasingly from African countries, I'm pleased to say. We've studied 120,000 individuals, and we've come up with a gene map, a gene signature, that allows us to identify normal people, but who have a 3 to 5 times higher risk of developing bowel cancer in their lifetime. These are some of the genes that we've discovered. And not only does this allow us to have a signature that we can use to identify people at high risk, but it can also give us ideas about new pathways for drug development. I've highlighted some of these in yellow here. This is the TGF-beta supergene family in bone morphogenetic protein, an area that we're actively exploring to see if we can use it as a treatment pathway. But what happens is that the more of these genetic mutations you have in the gene signature, the more susceptible to developing colorectal cancer you are. So if we had somebody who had a high number of risk alleles, every 3 years, we would recommend a colonoscopy test, because we know that by doing that, we can detect the cancer at an early stage when it can be completely cured, rather than the cancer sitting and growing and sometimes metastasizing to a stage which makes it incurable. Thanks very much for listening. I apologize for my sore throat and my coughing. Definitely not COVID. I did the test this morning. But in summary, I hope I've been able to demonstrate that we have clinically validated tumoral and germline biomarkers that completely change the management of early stage colorectal cancer. We can improve selection of patients for targeted therapy for advanced and metastatic disease. We can improve the safety of chemotherapy to move the whole field forward. And we can use genetic testing to identify individuals in population screening programs. But perhaps the most important take-home message is that of collaboration. The more we work together, the larger the data sets, the more we apply big data to artificial intelligence, the closer we'll come to understanding and beating cancer. Ceci.
Hello, I am Professor Ahmed El-Zawawi, Professor of Clinical Oncology. I am broadcasting today from Port Said, Egypt. And this is our third session of the GOIS, Global Oncology Implementing Science of the Global Oncology University. This is the lecture for Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. Today we'll discuss, we raised together very interesting points for as brainstorming, and we with your feedback and discussion. This is a part of the question about personalized medicine with limited resources. Is it a myth or reality? In fact, this question was raised for a complete session during ESMO 2014. And this, what I present today, is update from this question that was an trial of reply at that time, to share with the president of ESMO, president of ASCO, Professor Peter Yu at that time, and Professor Rodrigo Gazab, and many colleagues from different parts of the world who are concerned about this question. And my question here is, what can personalized cancer therapy mean for Africa and limited and middle income countries, or low resources, low and middle income countries in the world? As you know, this is I am Chair Win-Win Initiative, Chair Board of Directors of Global Oncology University, and Professor of Clinical Oncology, Suez Canal University, and ASROC, Asylum Radiation Oncology Center in Port Said, Egypt, president of International Campaign for Establishment and Development of Oncology Centers. It was registered in Texas, USA, and past president of Aortic. And we have many activities before in ESMO, in ASCO, and many, all organizations, WHO, IA, as many colleagues like me, as advisor, as expert, as member of committees, etc. So all was scientific. So no conflict of interests. Some may be astonished of posing the issue of personalized cancer therapy in Africa and low middle income countries. This is partly because what comes first to mind by some, that personalized therapy is mainly around the use of newer, expensive, targeted cancer drugs that, except in few cancers, still contribute minimally to overall curability. We suggested, reference are in the next slides, because as we discussed before, that this is our slides are used as also educational material that will post it to you all and be in our web. So it is not this type of short slides for webinars or conferences, despite that's based on mainly about the conference of ESMO at that time. So the reference will find some reference there. We suggested that the term personalized treatment would pass from the mechanics of hitting one or more targets, targeted therapy. Please be with us in this thinking, thoughts. The mechanics pass from the mechanics of hitting one or more targets, target therapy, to a broader notion of personalization in diagnosis, in treatment, palliative care. Is constituted a part of good art. This is the art of medicine and science since ever, even in the papyri of the ancient Egyptians. We call for freeing these terms of confusions between targeted, personalized. What's personalized should be broad. Target should pass from the narrow scope of a target one to hit one target or something, but personalized should be broader. Hence, we suggested that broader concept of personalizations of cancer therapy to consider: personalization in surgery, radiotherapy, and systemic cancer drugs and general care, integrating molecular tumor targets, microenvironments, and host individuals, variabilities, because there are many variabilities in this, in pharmacogenomics and pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetic studies, and other personal variations in human beings, like the socioeconomic aspect of and expectations, So if we say personalization, it means person, and person with all these aspects. In Italy, la persona, the person. So it is not just hit to hit a target in a tumor. It is more broader than this. This only target tumor is one of the aspects. Ideally, it would be how to get better value, and here we introduce value. What I'm said before is yes, there are many people that said it, but what we add as in the win-win is to how to get better value according to the definition of Porter and others, and about the triple value now with Seymour Gray, our leader in the win-win initiative, and a big renowned professor in UK and Oxford, and with an appropriate approach for treatment for a certain patient with a certain tumor in certain time and socioeconomic conditions. Again, ideally, I repeat it, it would be how to get better value, or how to get triple value, it's better to say this, with an appropriate approach of treatment for certain patient with certain tumor in certain time and socioeconomic conditions. This is not separable from any person, socioeconomic position. Here's the reference, you'll find it, and you'll send you the text. It is, this chapter of book, it is 2012, Science and Affordability of Cancer Drugs and Radiotherapy in the World. Please read this chapter and give us your feedback. It is available online. Also, a better value chemotherapy in Moyer and David Kerr, Seymour Gray, and the Professor David Kerr, a book, How to Get Better Value Cancer Care. Also in Approaching Global Oncology, the win-win model. This is in our book, Approaching Global Oncology. Targeted therapy, target drug therapy, is a part of personalized cancer therapy, but we think that there are some missed scientific information that are diffused in low middle income countries about these drugs, like the possible resistance. This is missed in education, in even information given by pharmaceutical drugs, and so it is there is possible resistance, mutation, heterogeneity inside tumor, different factors. They are not free of general hazards and side effects as common fake tales that the targeted drugs go only to tumors. Yes, you surely all of you know that is wrong, but that's many myths are said by diffuse that as it is targeted go only to tumor, so there is no side effects at all or adverse reaction on tumor. This is even I heard it yesterday, just yesterday in YouTube, diffused by a professor, and he is promoting for a drug. This is wrong. This is as any drug. Yes, the action of cancer action is anti-cancer action is directed to the tumor if succeed, but there are side effects like any drugs. Any drugs have adverse action, and side drugs not only auto tumor and spare other parts, chemicals, like anything. An example of commonly missed information among oncology residents in many countries, including mine. I say it usually, but I don't know it's missed. Among Western patients, de novo resistant to trastuzumab, Herceptin, occurs in approximately 65% of breast cancer, HER2 positive breast cancer cases, and resistance develop in approximately of 70% of patients who initially respond. So there is initial so there is the resistant de novo 65%, and even the responder 70% of them will develop resistance after. This is the article. Don't beat with us, but look for this reference. You have it, and you can send for them, and we raise the discussion together. If you have other things to say, please add. We are very open. We think that it is important to look to Africa, other low middle income countries in the world as contributors in solving challenges of modern cancer therapy and not as a burden on the world. Hence, we propose here to conduct win-win pilot collaborative research with stress on feasible better value cancer patient-centered notions, personalized cancer care, mainly in breast cancer, other common cancer, as a start in 3-4 low middle income countries, sites with partnership in international bodies. Is not so easy because even these notions needs to develop together and need to be developed and crystallized in every country. And then there will be gain for the international community and the science and patients and all. This is win-win. Actually, there are difficulties and barriers for conducting more valid clinical trial and research in low middle income countries. We all know about credibility, about feasibility, about how is the statistics are not is good or no, or how the data, many things. Hence, but North, South, and South cooperation, local capacity building and training. That is one of the functions of this courses and other courses in the world. It is just one part of the international activities of many. Local capacity building, training, and technical support should be essential parts of any successful and sustainable win-win collaboration. Otherwise, will be will not achieve scientific results. Finally, is that a myth or not? This is a question. This depends on how we define personalized cancer therapy and how we search for innovative tools to increase real opportunities for its affordability, feasibility, and value. Thank you all for your attention, and we welcome all your feedback, and please send to us as we said before, and you can send not only a chat now, but also as emails or via the website. You'll find our contact. Thank you all, and waiting your feedback and contributions and additions going forward in fruitful cooperation. Thank you all. Hello all. Today is the third and fourth video lectures of the third session of Global Oncology University program, the Global University program, Global Oncology Implementing Science. Today, we'll raise together some points. And as usual, we are keen to receive your feedback and comments. In fact, this is the title of the part 1 of part 2, third and fourth lecture today. It's about some top challenges in cancer care in the third decade of 21st century. It is the work of colleagues with me, Professor David Kerr, Professor Wilfred Negwa, Professor Eduardo Gazab, Professor Twalib Ngoma, Manar Muntasser, she's clinical oncologist with Canal Uzair Facility Hospital in Ismailia, and me. Well, these, as we said before, and we repeated before, that along the GOIS program, Global Oncology Implementing Science, and its short lecture, we don't only transfer some information in passive way, but we raise brainstorming points. You are partners in this, all of you. So the feedback and positive interaction are welcome during the assessment of participants in this course, because there will be some assessment questions who would like to get certificates. But in general, there it is the course is allowed, if you allowed to for all. It is open for all. But attending lectures and assessment is the requirement for certificate only. Moreover, it is encouraged to receive your feedback, critical appraisal, comments, and suggestions from all experts and audience who listen to this video in any occasion now and after the program, because it will be in the web. Anytime anyone watches this video and have some feedback or something, please send it. It will be diffused to many experts. All your feedback is considered, and the summary of some selective feedback will appear in next editions or new books or courses with citing names of the sender and after your permission. As we agreed together, the Win-Win Initiative and the Global Oncology University, we adopted flexibilities in thoughts, free flow of ideas, classic and innovative approach that all are focused on scientific and practical implementation in order to serve the goal to increase affordability of better value cancer care in the real world. We are no 100 goals. We are focused in this big goal. At the beginning, in fact, in the history of this lecture of today, that at the beginning of 2020, Professor David Colin-Gridge, editor-in-chief of Lancet Oncology, and the senior editor, Catherine Gore, asked members of the Lancet Oncology International Advisory Board to send their thoughts about top 3 challenges. The difficulty here is not to speak about all challenges, but top 3 challenges in your opinion. In my opinion, because I sent to me and the other colleagues they sent and so on. And opportunities in global control over the next 10 years. What is stated here is inspired by the reply of me to request of Lancet Oncology, with updates surely to what said and what's published in our chapter 6 of our book. First challenge, it was about primary prevention and early detection and earlier diagnosis. I like this term, earlier diagnosis, because early detection it's defined, and it's very exact term, seldom rare in reality. So earlier diagnosis. If you return back to the first cells and second and first small colony, this is still. But earlier diagnosis, I would like to always add earlier diagnosis to the term early detection. Primary prevention, as you know, all this. Healthy lifestyles, behavior, but we sit here also. Healthy lifestyles, behavior, avoidance of tobacco and secondhand smoke, minimization of alcohol intake, regular exercise, balanced diet, protection, and particularly this, balanced diet, particularly this, what described as Mediterranean food, protection against ultraviolet and ionizing radiation exposure. Primary prevention and early detection continued here. Because we would like to stress on some points that a global problem is among challenges of national screening, for example, or population screening, the use of mammography in the national breast cancer screening program in some countries. These programs are very are costly. The main challenge is that cost, value, and feasibility at international level in big populations. Among our suggestions is to encourage the studies of further development and wider applications of the current blood test, for example, because as in to make a for population, still there are costs, there are feasibility. There is not, you are not apply. You can't apply for many countries. We see here an example of John Hopkins published in 2019 new blood test use DNA patterns to predict multiple cancer types, and this is a reference. You find it. Moreover, new opportunities are available beside blood tests. It has been shown recently that some tests using saliva, even less aggressive than blood, at least intervention than blood tests. No injection, even no syringe or not a specimen, blood specimen, can detect the same condition as blood tests without the need of invasive blood sample. Further study are needed. Yes, sure. And this is the reference. Please read it. An update of June 27, 2023. There is multi-cancer early detection that really can make the 20th century fiction becomes to reality. This test could soon become a valuable addition to current cancer screening tools. Wow, we need to stress in this. And if this is to reference here, please revise them and read them and give your feedback. In November 2022, a study was published concerning non-invasive screening tests for endometrial cancer. This test was to assess the DNA methylation in 1,288 cervico-vaginal specimens and to apply them to women in cancer. Findings are very interesting in cervical, self-collected and vaginal swab. Self-collected and vaginal swab sample derived from symptomatic patient. The test detected endometrial carcinoma with sensitivity of 97.2% and 90% and 80% respectively, and specificity in the different studies and so it is specificity is also high. It's over 70%. And this is the reference here. You will find published in April 2023. So the test performance was similar across menopausal status, ages, stages, grade, ethnicity, and histology. Women who might get benefit from this test, a woman with abnormal bleeding or other symptom. For example, although the number of non-white women in our setting was low, but the performance was similar to white and non-white women. What is the value of this? This could represent a rapid, patient-friendly test screening and triage of women with symptoms suggestive of endometrial carcinoma. This is suitability of self-sample, okay? And suitable tool for managing women with abnormal bleeding, particularly when access to specialists, because the present of the tests that we have that needs a specialist and ultrasonography. Further research will determine the most appropriate preventive screening and early detection setting in which to deploy this test. So after, if we have find something, we can refer for more tests and more investigation. So it is could be accessible thing, could be affordable, could be easy. Not doesn't need expert in everywhere, but you send for interpretation in remotely or something like this. So there is new era involvement of artificial intelligence, AI, and information and communication technology, ICT, in screening, diagnosis, and cancer treatment. In labs, in pathology, digital pathology. This is very interesting aspects, particularly in the shortage of qualified pathologists in many parts of the world. And the shortage will increase, will remain despite of all, because the increase of incidence, increase of prevalence of cases that need another specimen, recurrence, all these things. So imaging, imaging, genetic tests, better value appropriate treatment of cancer. All this will lead to better value appropriate treatment of cancer. An example is remote saliva test. As we said, there is a saliva test. This could be done remotely. And this is after completed a questionnaire online and mailed in saliva sample for genetic testing, then you can do it. But in more advanced center, in other center, can do remotely. DNA repair genes associated with metastatic prostate cancer are tested, and counseling services are provided via internet. Even the results could be returned back by internet. This is the article. It's very interesting. This is the GCO Precision Oncology. This is the reference. Please return to it. Our brainstorming remarks on artificial intelligence. Think with us. This is just artificial intelligence consisted of human-made devices or programs that marvelously augments the scope and execution of what was mostly planned also by humans. It is made by humans. I suggested using terms, and we published it in our last book also, Approaching Global Oncology, the Win-Win Model. I suggested that to using terms like augmenting intelligence or assisted intelligence. Both could be called AI too. So artificial intelligence, augmenting intelligence, assisted intelligence, or whatever. It will not change this saying in brief AI. Rather than the commonly used term artificial intelligence, that could give the impression that is an artificial device replacing human intelligence. This is the problem. We think that some things that will be there is many rumors, many articles about how it could be replaced human intelligence. Experience, judgment, valuation is human, all this, and tailoring according to different situation and complexity in real life. In all cases, artificial intelligence is a human-made device or program to augment marvelously the scope and execution of what was planned also by humans. This is what I wrote in our book. Artificial intelligence is used to improve diagnostic and treatment. It may solve crises of human resources in healthcare. Yes, sure. Health professionals have to be trained. So we need they need humans. However, there is exaggerated fears of widespread elimination of human roles and jobs by the use of AI. In about 20 years, 50% of all jobs will be outdated, no longer needed, including some healthcare jobs. Many. However, there will be an increased opportunities for new jobs and business, and those who will cope with the new era of AI. So you will no need for some jobs, but you need more new jobs. But this need what? This need new program of human capacity building, education, and professional training should cope with the need of a successful implementation of new technology and AI. Hence, that will expand the capability of workforce and the train human being and not replace them. It will replace, it will increase the capabilities and not replace them. This is augmenting intelligence, assisting human intelligence. Increase, make us work more, make us deal with more problems. I raise the question for your feedback and opinion. If AI, if AI would make decision comparable with that present in guidelines or replied by clinical oncology for the apparently straightforward or direct cases, then what about difficult, controversial cases, or that needs thorough thinking, evaluation before deciding with the patient what could be of more value for him or her? We wrote apparently with reserve here because clinical for apparently straightforward because there is no it is not easy to find straightforward question because sometimes we think that's straightforward, but the patient have some particular aspects, some particular problem, and many other things. We raise a hypothesis whether the burnout and fatigue of clinical oncologists may increase and not the contrary, and but with more introduction of AI. Just to raise the question for thinking, because this is even raised by many experts. I pick it and I sit it here, and we discuss it together and with experts. And as most of cases that will need them are not the direct cases, or that need more than just following guidelines or Google search, because always what you will refer difficult cases or that need that with controversy and some difficult decision to human doctors, human physician, human oncologist, human surgeon, human. So is that will not increase the difficulty of the routine daily work in our new era, where treatment should be patient-centered and the notion of better value cancer care. Triple value here, as defined by Professor Seymour Gray, is allocation, technical, and personalized value. Allocation, technical, and personalized value should be considered. See section. We have lectures about value and triple value in this program. Please watch it and send your feedback. And where we stress also in the mandatory need to consider the patient expectations, what he wants, what he needs, what he expects with treatment, and what he expects with care, what he expects. This is important. This is different, sometimes different from one person to another. His condition with different realistic aspects, physical, social, economic, psychological, and human aspects. All this part of any person, and where the different decision regarding patient care ideally be tailored considering all these aspects. This is easy by AI, or AI could help, but there should be, after all, human judgment and discussion with patient, considering the patient and deciding the patient also. And families considering all these things. The AI would be very helpful, but the question about whether AI could be sufficient for that purpose, what I asked about precisely, is that would be sufficient or not? Think about it. Or still, it is highly needed for well-qualified human beings with broad experience, ideally with board decision, after considering, or multidisciplinary team, after considering the different with wise and humanitarian aspects in which patients come first. Patient come first. This is an article about this. This is the web about triple value. We see that the professional care givers should be prepared with teaching and all with challenges to this new near future. That is why education and training is very important. That is why program of education tailored to this. It needs us as a trainer of trainer to be also educated as. So it needs a lot of very exciting and very interesting aspect to learn and to enhance it when you learn and you educate others and so on. Because it is a challenge, not just simply say AI will solve all. This is non-realistic. We see that the need of professional human manpower will be increased, provided that they can use. Yes, there is a need for more human aspect, more human power. There will be a need for that, but this should be provided that they can use and get benefit from the technology, including AI. If they don't train to use it and to get more benefit of it, not just use it as just train on AI and use it as, without thinking, okay, I just take the decision. This is the decision of the AI, and to master the technology and consider human aspects that could be fulfill what was described by our grandfather as a good doctor. This is a good doctor. This is art of medicine with a new updated profile, notions, and education, considering and using from the new technology and what will come after. And the new generation will see that we speak about AI now, but we don't know how it could be developed after. So it is we should be prepared from now for the newer generation, particularly. So, what do you think? Please send via this to one of these two link, and this is directly not come to me only, but come to at least 5 or 6 experts, including Professor David Kerr, Professor Eduardo Gazab, Professor Wilfred Negua, Professor Kero Sikora, Professor so it can come to Wilfred Negua, surely, the boss of who run the work of the GOIS and the movement in general. So this will be tackled thoroughly and globally in our next big work, Global Clinical Oncology Implementing Science. This will complement the present program approaching global oncology. This is the next work. We are prepared for it. We hope to be launched within 2 years. Please give your ideas from now. It will be the first global clinical oncology implementing science. This course is approaching global oncology. This next is global clinical oncology. All experts are invited. You will see the difference. We'll discuss together, but I would like to be short in this discussion, but in this decision. But we are open for any discussion and chatting and everything. All experts are invited. Moreover, all your feedback, particularly from mid-career and younger colleagues, are warmly welcomed because you represent most of the present and the whole future. The mid-career and the younger colleague are most of the present, and you are the whole future is for you. Best wishes, sorry. Thank you for your time and attention. All your feedback is would consider, as I repeat always. And this is the 2 links, and we sent you. You find also this in our website. Please visit GOIS website. Thank you for attention, and we'll continue after in the second part of this. Hello. I am, hello everyone. I am Professor Ahmed Zawa, Professor of Clinical Oncology. I'm broadcasting now from Port-Said, Egypt. I'm glad to be among all of you today. And also this lecture video, will be available on web to be watched at any time, repeated, and the text even of the slides will be available on the web, GOIS.website. Now we'll continue in this lecture that will be for our session in Wednesday, it's November 2023. To continue the topic that it was in the last lecture, some top challenges in cancer care in the third decade of the 21st century. As I said before, this is with multiple colleagues and authors shared with me, Professor Wilfred Negwa, Professor David Kerr, Professor Twalib Ngoma, Manar Montasser from Egypt, and Eduardo Gazab. And you will find here some notes about them in the last lecture that you'll find some information about them. Today we continue, and now we continue these points in the previous lecture. This point 2 is cancer treatment. In fact, in rich and low middle income countries, there is a global problem. The gap between what is required and what is available for cancer care in the world widened in the last 2 decades. Despite of all commissions, publications, agendas, organizations, societies, international, continental, regional, whatever, agendas and plans, declarations, and national, international declaration, all this, but the gap is widened. Was widened in the last 2 decades. Yes, there are some increase in some facilities, yes, but the needs were increased and will still present. There is no indication that the gap in affordability of cancer care will not deteriorate in the next decade if we continue like we are now. All over the world, by the way. The challenges of skyrocketing rise of cost, cancer treatment and technology, and the expected increase of cancer incidence and prevalence, particularly in low middle income countries, is pressing. Here is a look for the reference here. The win-win scenarios or win-win initiative, we have 2 wings. First wing is to increase affordability of value-based cancer care in different communities in the world by lowering the total cost of treatment. The total cost, we are not speaking about the price of drug per se, or a device or a machine or something per se, but lowering the total cost, including all factors of treatment, without compromising the outcome on patients. Even we can get better value, not only compromise the outcome, have similar outcome, but you will see in many modules, in module 3 particularly, and there could be a better value, even treatment, better outcome. Second wing, catalyst action and professional advice to increase the rate of establishment of services of clinical oncology and surgical oncology in the world, starting with the difficult challenges in low middle countries, including Africa. Here is some reference. Please refer to them and read them and send your feedback, and if you have any comment. For example, in radiation oncology, to make an international campaign to promote for radiotherapy. That's what we advocate for. Campaign to promote for radiotherapy, its cost effectiveness, to show how many business and financing model could be provided. It's not one model. How to catalyze for development of human of human capacities, education and training, volunteer professional consultation, advice from A to Z, from if improve before the layout of a project tool till its functioning and its progress, and its to ameliorate what is present now of services. Not only the new one, but the older one can be make more progress and treat more patients. This is possible and feasible, and you will see along the course. Role of industry in the campaign, not by propaganda to their machines, but by promotion for radiotherapy in general in the world, by public messages, via social media, not by the classic messages to governments. It should be broad campaign, broad message to social media, to TV, to not just classical formal messages or some formal speaking. We should use all formal, non-formal, everything. One of the new examples that we present before is the use of the initiative is the Global Oncology University. This is an example of education, training, and cancer for all. They provide free program and service for all. There are need for more development, partnership, and collaboration. Welcome all. We are not there is no rivalries. We are not praising any, but completing and part of all. Here is a question about what is top science. Top science, particularly, it's so that is the most complicated and advancing thing, and full stop. No, it's just part of the story. Top science, particularly in medicine, is not just a breakthrough discovery that is great itself, but it may need next scientific researches, works, and exploration, and maybe innovation to make this discovery applicable and implemented with variability in different communities, and on how to make it adopted and accessible in different communities and conditions. This is implementing science, global oncology approaching global oncology implementing science. Other things, other thing we advocate for it is published by in our book, and you will find it. Also, is Blue Ocean Strategy and the win-win modified Blue Ocean Strategy. What I propose is the win-win modified Blue Ocean Strategy. What is Blue Ocean Strategy? It's a method for creating business strategy of the enterprise or organization, described first by Shan Kim and Rennie Mo-Borney. It is based on the idea that every enterprise or project or organization or institution or center achieve, or industry, company, achieve higher profit by turning non-customers or potential customers into customers and creating new demand in non-competitive market, like to navigate alone in blue ocean. This is the initial definition of blue ocean strategy. So like to navigate alone in blue ocean, and then custom in a market that was considered as dead or weak or something like this. To how to motivate, how to change non-customer to potential customers, and to navigate alone. This is blue ocean strategy. And here is the reference. The win-win modified blue ocean strategy. I proposed it you find it in chapter 3 in the win-win modified blue ocean strategy in our book. I suggested to have a wide, effective campaign can be conducted in which many could contribute, not only one company, one industry, one organization to navigate. This is in cancer. It is even not realistic. In which many could contribute to open potential markets of radiotherapy, clinical oncology, and cancer care. Apply here for what our fields of cancer care, but it is The Blue Ocean strategy can be applied for any other thing, for organization, for industry, for companies, for anything, any endeavor. In reality, in the field of clinical oncology, cancer care, there are huge inactive or dead markets that could be potentially a great blue ocean along the upcoming 10 years. Go on, start now to search for this together to lead the win-win modified blue ocean strategy. We call it industry, we call it government, we call it organizations, we call commercial enterprise, we call organizations. Win-win modified blue ocean strategy for cancer care is a win-win collaboration or at least clever coordination in an effective, intense, and smart international promotion. Smart international promotion. That's why you say something innovative, some not just some formal. It needs innovation. It's a big field for the needs for clinical oncology care, implementation and realization of global campaign that we call for. All would win more. The cost effectiveness of such campaign will be less than if one or few of the stakeholders try to do it solely. That is one of the advantages of doing it. It is win-win with the fiber blue ocean strategy it is coordination. There will be some coordination, not to navigate only. Yes, it's supposed to navigate only in some cases, but in cancer in general and clinical oncology, you need many things with you. Our proposal, even if you produce one medicine or a drug or something, then you need environment, that you need departments, that you need radiotherapy, that you need surgery, to go forward in selling more as a company. And so you need this environment to have jobs for people who are trained capacity. You need this to treat patients. Patients need this to be take care of them, diagnose and treatment and management and palliative care and everything. So it is not one single road, one single approach as the initial blue ocean strategy. But this one not proposed is win-win modified blue ocean strategy. Our proposal implies that in many instances, not absolutely in all cases, the gain would be more in a suitable, well-studied sort of combination than if you try to navigate alone. Not in every case, but in most of cases. Third challenge, third top I selected here is for supportive and palliative and care and rehabilitation. These fields are in a serious shortage in most of the world, particularly in low middle income countries. It goes without saying that availability of supportive and palliating drugs is essential. It goes without saying. We stress on the importance of what I call care for professional cancer caregivers. And there is a presentation about this lecture. How we can expect an adequate supportive and palliative care when professional palliative and supportive caregiver in part of the world are in need of broader experience, training, exchange of experience with international colleagues in order to be more efficient and to recruit more numbers of the staff. How we can expect without this? The care of professional cancer caregiver should include the assurance and the fulfillment and the of their different needs aspect, particularly in financial needs of life, scientific and career progression, support and prestige, appreciation, work conditions, vacations, and reducing burnout. How we can expect a successful wide support and palliative care and rehabilitation without this care, what I call care for professional care, cancer caregiver. Not only in cancer palliative care, but in general, in cancer in general, oncologists, nurses, or surgeons
There is a need for more integration of palliative and supportive care in professional cancer education. It is not apart, but it should be integrated in professional cancer education, integrating palliative care as the medical and the medical and emergency department as well. This need training and this is a very nice lecture. This is not mine, but I send you here the link. It is about palliative special care specialist medical city Taiwan integrating palliative care at the emergency department. Virtual International Forum for Supportive and Palliative Care. Information, communication technology, and artificial intelligence can help. We propose the Assure platform open for willing institutes, experts, organizations, societies, and composed of many points in the world connected to each other. So to give for urgent consultation, for give advice, for training, for give a decision, to help in decision, and to then a nurse or brave nurse working in any part have any corner of the world have a problem with the patient, with a human patient who's suffering and needs some experience, some advice, so it can get it. This can provide educational program and practical advices around the clock to staff all over the world via all means and ICT, including mobile phones. We could this could be achieved, by the way, and could relieve many problems for patients and help really the local professionals everywhere. Here is the feedback of Professor Wilfred Nagwa. Top 3 challenge and top opportunities for global cancer control in the forthcoming decades are: first, it's challenge of limited fund for global oncology. Opportunities, greater win-win engagement of all stakeholders, right, like industry and diaspora. Challenge, second, is the distance time barriers. Opportunities to increase the use of ICT and artificial intelligence as global oncology university and other endeavors. Challenge, cultural barriers. Opportunities, greater engagement of the diaspora and greater appreciation of both sending and receiving country culture, with the potential of to change brain drain to global health gain via ICT oncology activities. Thank you for your attention. All your feedback are welcomed. Really, and please send to us. As I always say, we are open for all. We are partners, and you are the upcoming, particularly the younger colleagues and mid-careers are the upcoming leaders of this initiative. Thank you all, and
hello. I think this time we take about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So if you have any question, just send to us, send to me, and it will be referred to my colleagues, also the partners and co-directors of this course. Till next, when there is any chat or something? Manar Montasser, thank you. Barry, would you mind please sharing more information on the Virtual International Forum for Supportive and Palliative Care? or the link in the chat if possible. I send you the link in the chat, but this is speak about other things. This is a very good reference, but this international forum depends on ICT, depends on artificial intelligence, international forums that will be work around the hour. Is a proposal, is just a proposal for us. So please, I think that our role together is to initiate this and to discuss it, because it's very, very, very needed. It really many things, and it use the experience of many for the service of many millions in the world. And please, Dr. Barry, be with us to develop this. It is just the start. So please be with us. Welcome as partner, as faculty, and everything. Welcome all. Thank you. Dr. Ahmed Bougarda. Thank you very Bougara. Thank you very much. Be together. The success of this is to please forward this link to all colleagues. Forward the link of the web and about our book together, and these videos will be downloaded in the web. Please forward to other colleagues everywhere. Success of this initiative depends on you. We are just initiators, Professor Wilfred Negwa, Professor Eduardo Gaza, Professor David Kay, Professor Carol Sikora, about 100 distinguished contributors. But the success, the continuity of this and success to achieve its goal is to see more numbers of patients, enormous number of patients would receive their treatment with dignity, affordable treatment, better value treatment in the world. And there is a great need for this via science, not via begging, not via charity, via science. This is to say, by you all together. Thank you and bye-bye. Till next Wednesday at the same time, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., 15 p.m. Greenwich time. Thank you and bye-bye. Going forward together, hand in hand. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye all.